Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. With summer quickly approaching, it means that it's almost time for everyone in West Bloomfield to be taking part in their favorite outdoor activities. And one beloved staple of the community is set to reopen very, very soon. We now go live to Lily Pad Springs in West Bloomfield with our very own Kevin McIntosh to learn more. Kevin.
What's going on, Jake? Yes, I'm here live outside West Bloomfield's Lily Pad Springs right here on Farmington Road, where we were expecting opening day to happen today through Memorial Day weekend. But due to the weather, it is closed today. But we are still here to give you a lot of information and excitement for this season. It will be open from technically today or this weekend all the way through to September 1st. Now, that is due to weather or whether or not the weather is, open enough, great enough for us to come outside, I should say. There are a few different things to keep in mind as well. There'll be a sensory-friendly sessions that'll happen on Mondays at 11 a.m. as well. That'll be happening starting June 9th all the way to August 19th as well. So that's something to keep in mind for the residents who have children with those sensory needs as well. We're talking about over 5,500 square feet of fun, 50 features, 4 water slides, 55-gallon splash bucket. All that excitement is back. Sessions only $4 for residents. If you're not a resident of West Bloomfield, it's only $7. Not too bad as well. You can also get your tickets in advance. If you are a resident, you can get your tickets up to 30 days in advance. Non-residents, up to 15 days in advance. And just a quick thing also, Jake, if you coming out here, maybe you don't want to swim, you're just watching the kids, you want to snack, they'll have food trucks out here as well on select dates. Quick Bites, Kona Ice, Supus, Lemonade, and Stello Burgers. All sounds like great time outside enjoying it during the summer. West Bloomfield's Lily Pad Springs, technically open today, but it is closed due to the weather. So as soon as it opens, we'll continuously keep the community updated, Jake.
Well, weather can certainly play a factor in a lot of things. So, yeah, you're right. Might have to wait a little bit more for the summer fun to get started. But good things take time, Kevin. And I'm sure the crowds will be out there for when that day comes that Lily Pad Springs does reopen. So if it doesn't reopen this week as was planned, do you have information on when the opening days will be coming?
That's a good question. So I did speak to Megan Tahako from WB Park. She did inform me, yes, due to the weather, they're expecting if there is inclement weather or temperatures below 65 to 70 degrees, they may cancel the session or the park in advance. Right now, temperatures are floating below 65, 70, so it's closed. I believe it's going to be below 65 or 70 all through Memorial Day weekend, if I'm not wrong. So as soon as we get those temperatures safely above 70, sunny weather, I anticipate it'll be open. But once again, once we get word from WB Parks, we'll share that information as well, Jake.
All right. Well, lots of great information and so many things to look forward to with the opening of Lily Pad Springs right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Lots of busy days that are certainly going to be coming for the summer season. And if I'm not mistaken, Kevin, you had a very busy night last night over at Soul Studio in West Bloomfield, not too far from where you're at right now.
That's right, Jake. Yeah, I was out here in the community, West Bloomfield. I actually went to West Bloomfield's Michigan Art Show. That was at Soul Studio as of yesterday. Went there for their Michigan Art Show. It invited the entire community to come out and experience the state's landscapes and landmarks as interpreted by these students, these artists out here. And I actually, like I said, went inside to actually talk to some of the artists to find out more about their creative relationship to our beautiful state of Michigan.
I made all kinds of Michigan things on this artwork. We know that Tim Allen went to see Home High School in Birmingham, Bob Seger's from Detroit, Lansing's the capital of our state, and the Mackinac Bridge is listed in the key.
I love deer. I like to look at them and see them and keep looking at them when we're on the street. I look around. Do I see a deer? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
At the heart of West Bloomfield, the Dresdner Soul Studio opens its doors to an exhibition that captures the essence of Michigan through unique artistic expressions.
The exhibition, the theme is Michigan, and we chose that theme because around the studio, I hear all the time from our artists, this place feels like home to be here. And so it's like, that's great. And thinking about what home do we all share in common, both our artists and the community. It's Michigan. Let's have fun with it.
Artists with special needs have poured their perspectives into pieces that reflect the state's natural beauty, iconic landmarks, and cherished moments. Artist Ari Chekin explains more about his connection.
I was born and raised around here because I was born at U of M in Ann Arbor, and I grew up and went to see Home High School, and now I work at Beaumont/Corwell Royal Oak.
Because I love deer. I like to look at them, and I like to watch them when they're outside. When they come up to the window, I kind of wave my hand, and maybe they'll see me.
Featured artist Karen Martell tells us more about the process of creating her artwork.
It's a piece of canvas, and I took the paint and made a design, and then I had a pencil and I kind of drew the deer out. And then I did the antlers and the bird and everything like that.
This event not only showcases talent, but also fosters community, inclusion, and a shared appreciation for the diverse stories that make up Michigan's tapestry. I asked artists and organizers what they want patrons to take away from their visit here.
The shows we do like this, it's such a big impact for our artists. So here today, this is a chance when all of our artists can come through. We have families, we have staff's families, we have community members coming in and get to see kind of the spirit of the studio, which is so hard to describe and explain. You got to be here to feel the magic. And so it's so meaningful for our artists to see that people are coming in. People want to see their work. They want to know what's going on. It's a big deal.
I want them to feel that they know lots of things about our state.
I want them to feel happy when they see it and to take it home and buy it.
Once again, I want to thank Ari Chekin, Karen Martell, and Caitlin Cartwright, and the entire Soul Studio staff, Friendship Circle staff, for allowing us to come in there and take a look at that beautiful art showcasing our wonderful Great Lakes state. And you can find out more about what they have going on at Soul Studio and Friendship Circle. Go directly to their website, friendshipcircle.org, for more. Jake?
Wow, always such a great thing to see all of the talent on display right here in Greater West Bloomfield and all of these incredible artists. Kevin, thank you so much for all of the work in getting these great clips and these great videos. Last night was the West Bloomfield High School commencement ceremony, and several West Bloomfield students were honored for the work that they have done throughout their high school careers. It was an emotional night to say goodbye to the departing class of 2025, and Principal Eric Pace had this to say to the departing students.
I have friends that don't work in education that ask me all the time. They're like, doesn't it get boring to do the same cycle of things every single year? I've been doing this for 19 years. No, it doesn't, right? Because this night, all the way through this night next week, makes all of the work that they put in, that you put in as families, and that our educators put in worth it. Our seniors are leaving us with the opportunities and the abilities to lead and to change for the better. It is now upon them, you, to take care of us. I want my Social Security checks, so keep that going. When I'm in a home, please visit me. But more importantly, it is your responsibility and your duty, and I know you are up to the task to make this world better. There is so much that you can do to lead the rest of us. So with that, go out and do it. I cannot wait to see you next week. Families, thank you for everything. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week.
Such powerful words that Eric Pace gave to the class of 2025, and important things for each and every one of them to take into consideration as they begin their college journeys and head off to tackle the world. Best of luck to every single member of the class of 2025. West Bloomfield officials want to speak with you, the citizens, and Greater West Bloomfield residents will have the chance to ask any questions and concerns they may have at next Saturday's Breakfast with the Board event, taking place on May 31st from 9 to 11 a.m. at West Bloomfield Town Hall. West Bloomfield residents are instructed to come hungry and to come with a lot of questions, as officials like Jonathan Warshay, Debbie Binder, and Mike Patton will be there to communicate directly with the township and hear directly what they have to say. It's certainly going to be a very educational experience and a great way for the community to get a good sense of what's going on throughout their town. So can't wait to see what's to come from that event on May 31st. As the school year comes to a close in Greater West Bloomfield, that means the seniors who've been making such an impact all year long are saying goodbye to West Bloomfield and heading off to college. One person making that jump is someone who's been a notable help for the West Bloomfield School District, as he has been their photographer for many of the district's high-profile events. I'm talking, of course, about Ari Saperstein, who joins us right now on the Splash Live to talk about his time working with the West Bloomfield School District. Ari, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Jake.
Absolutely. Really happy to have you with us. And we've crossed paths quite a bit from some of the big events that have taken place throughout the West Bloomfield School District as of late. And you've been there capturing all of the magic as their photographer. What first sparked your interest in photography, and how did that evolve during your time at West Bloomfield High School?
For me, photography has always been a thing of how can I document things and preserve things for the future. And a perfect way of doing that, especially in the high school environment, is that many of these students do these activities and are never seen for them. So being able to highlight them in a way that's it shows them in a better light, I think is very important. And I think that's why it draws me to photography.
Awesome. That's certainly right. Lots of big moments that happen every single day throughout the high school experience. And if you're watching on Civic Center TV right now, you can see some of the photos that Ari has taken throughout his time with the West Bloomfield School District, all of which look incredible. What was your most memorable photo assignment or project as a student photographer, and why does it stand out to you?
I think the biggest one is covering football for 2 seasons. It's about a 6-month photo project for both seasons. Spending countless hours at practices, every game, just hanging out with the team and capturing every moment, showing that these students aren't just athletes, but they also have camaraderie, and everything off the field is what I cover. And I think for me, it was the most rewarding experience, and I'm very proud of my work from the football season.
You should be very proud. And looking at every single one of these photos, you can see just like you can read the lines of what's taking place in these photos. You can see the emotions. You can see the feelings of unity throughout every single one of these students. And it's such a great thing to see. And Ari, how did your photography work impact your connection to the school community?
For me, I tell people this all the time. It's like a passport to everything. I can go from out on a football field to the theater to community events, and it allows me to do so much. and relate to the community in a different way than just, many of these students just play a sport. But for me, I'm able to hop around and it's not very stagnant. And I think it's impacted me in the way of I get to see a lot, and then I can make my opinions around things that I see.
That's right. And I think it's safe to say that with a position like this, no 2 days are exactly the same. You're always seeing something different every single day. And with a job like this, I'd imagine you've had some help along the way. Did you have any mentors, like teachers or advisors or peers, who've helped shape your creative path?
The biggest network I've had is other photojournalists. A big one that is I consider my mentor is Jake May. He's the staff photographer at MLive in Flint. And so oftentimes it's a matter of getting on a Zoom call with him and going through my work, and he breaks it down. Hey, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing right? And just learning from others is important, and not just relying on friends and family to let you know that, they'll always tell you that your work is good. So someone that can criticize you and make sure that you're putting your best foot forward for the next day, I think is really important.
That's right. That constructive criticism is crucial as you want to you want to learn how to grow, and you want to have something that you can use to propel yourself to the next level. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the West Bloomfield School District's student photographer, Ari Saperstein, talking about his experiences as the student photographer for the school district as he's leaving West Bloomfield and heading off to college for the 2025 year. Now, Ari, how do you think your time behind the camera has helped you grow, not just as an artist, but as a person?
For me, I think, and I expressed this a little bit earlier, was that it allows me to see so much. And that's a really, really valuable thing that I've been able to see. Obviously, no one has the same background that we all have. And to highlight people's backgrounds, to learn from people's backgrounds, has allowed me to become much more open-minded about people. And I think it's a valuable thing that I've been able to take out of my photography.
I love that. And those are very powerful things to take with you as you're heading off to the next level, as you're heading off to college. What are your college plans, Ari? And do you intend to continue pursuing photography in any way?
So next year I'll be attending Michigan State University for packaging. I know packaging is not a photography degree, but I do plan on continuing it in some capacity, whether that's working potentially for the state news, or working for another publication, doing a similar thing that I did for West Bloomfield.
Nice. Michigan State, an amazing school, an alumni of our very own Tyler Kieft, of course, and an alumni of some members of my family, including my sibling Freddie. Great. Best of luck to you in that. And I do have a question. What advice would you give to other students at West Bloomfield High School who are interested in exploring photography or creative arts?
My big thing is just get out there and just do it. For me, it was a matter of just getting a hold of a camera and just starting to photograph, and then I figured it out from there. The benefit is we have so many opportunities at our high school, and we're such a large program that you can just hop in anywhere, and people want photos. So just go take photos, go learn. If they're not great, they'll get better, and just get out there and continue doing it.
That's right. All it takes is just a little bit of exposure. See what he did there? But Ari, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live. I got one more quick question before we wrap things up. Looking back at your time with West Bloomfield High School, what will you miss most, and what are you most excited about going forward?
I think the biggest thing I'll miss is all the relationships and connections I've made through my work. It's allowed me to, be in a wide range of situations, whether it's on a football team or behind the scenes for theater. And a lot of those kids tend not to mix, but for me, it was a matter of, I became friends with a lot of them and close with a lot of them. So all the relationships and connections I've built related to around my work is what I'm going to miss. And then as far as the future, I'm just going to continue to take that same mindset, right? Just taking, building relationships related to my work, and continue to explore the world through photography.
Well, I can't wait to see what's to come in the future. Ari, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Ari has done such great work throughout his time with West Bloomfield High School. So many great photos captured throughout the last couple of years, and we can't wait to see what he's going to be doing for the future. And I mean, I'm just saying, for all of us here at Civic Center TV, we could always use a great photographer on our team as well. But best of luck to Ari on his future. Here in West Bloomfield, everybody wants the opportunity to be a hero and support anybody that they can. And soon, West Bloomfield residents will have the chance to do just that. A community blood drive is being held by the West Bloomfield Fire Department tomorrow, May 24th, from 10 to 2 p.m. at Fire Station Number 5 in West Bloomfield, providing opportunities for everyone in Greater West Bloomfield to give back and to help one another. Here to tell us more about the event is West Bloomfield Fire Sergeant Blake Belsky. Blake, thank you so much for joining us here on The Splash.
Good morning, Jake. Thanks for having me back.
Of course, always love talking with you, and this is such a great event that's coming up right here in West Bloomfield with this blood drive. How important would you say community involvement is with events like this, and what role does the fire department play in fostering that connection?
Oh, gosh. So the hospitals are always in need of blood products for their patients, whether it's planned surgeries to make sure that the patients stay stable while they're undergoing their operation, or whether it's traumatic injuries that just pop up and happen over, holiday weekends like the one coming up. They cannot give blood to their patients without blood donations from the community. So community involvement is 100% vital to this operation. And the fire department, we play a very small role in this. Really, the only thing we're doing is hosting the location. The Versity is the organization that's doing the collection of the blood product, and we are just offering them a space to set up their equipment and a space for the community to come in and make that donation.
Well, there's still a lot of things for everybody to see with this event. And as you can see on our screen, Civic Center TV, there is a QR code that you can scan right now to be taken to a website to gain a little more information about this upcoming event and to see the eligibility criteria. And Blake, are there any requirements that first-time donors should be made aware of before coming to something like this?
I believe the only requirement is that you've got to be 14 years old. If you're 14 years old, you can donate blood. The recommendations from Versity are to make sure you eat a nice breakfast. We don't want anyone feeling lightheaded and woozy in the middle of donating their blood. But other than that, just show up. They have told us that blood donations tend to be lowest over holiday weekends and as the warm weather comes up. And that, unfortunately, is when the need for blood supplies goes up. You've got a lot of people on the road. The propensity for car accidents, boating accidents tends to go up, and the need for that blood supply is increased at the hospitals. So this is a great time for everyone to take an hour out of their day, tops, come in and make a big difference in their community.
You're certainly right. A lot of things for everybody to keep in mind. Those are great points that you just made pertaining to big things that might be happening around holiday weekends like Memorial Day weekend. So you're absolutely right. This is a great time for everybody to take some time and to donate some blood. Now, you just touched on this just a little bit ago, but what safety protocols are going to be in place to ensure a safe donation experience for everybody?
Well, now, Versity is a national organization. They're not new to this game at all. They take every precaution to make sure they're using sterile procedures. They're handling that blood as all of their governing bodies requires, and they're making sure that a clean and good product is delivered to the hospitals. The nice thing about Versity is they are actually supplying the blood for a lot of the hospital systems in Southeast Michigan. So the blood that is donated this weekend will stay in this community. This isn't something that's going to end up in a disaster area somewhere, across the country. This is the blood you donate could very well save your neighbor's life this weekend. So it's a really exciting way to become involved in your community as well.
You are certainly right about that. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm speaking with West Bloomfield Fire Sergeant Blake Belsky about the West Bloomfield Fire Department's upcoming blood drive that's going to be taking place on May 24th from 10 to 2 p.m. at Fire Station number 5. Now, Blake, what does participating in this blood drive mean to you personally as a fire sergeant?
Oh gosh. Well, we see all too common folks who fall down in their homes, folks who are involved in car accidents in the community. We're coming up on boating season. We've seen boating accidents. We've seen snowmobile accidents on the lakes when it's frozen. We see people who depend on these blood products being available at the hospitals. And there's only so much that we can do while we're taking this patient to the hospital. We rely on all of the systems that are in place after we arrive at the emergency department to make sure that that patient is cared for. And again, there's only so much that the hospital can do with the machines that they've got. Everyone really relies ultimately on the involvement of the community to make sure that those blood products are available for the patients who need it most.
All great things to have at the ready, and all great work that you with the fire department is doing for the community. Now, Blake, do you or anyone on your team have a personal story or experience that highlights the importance of donating blood?
Well, I grew up watching my grandfather and my father donate blood. They were Red Cross donors on the regular. My grandpa had a collection of hundreds of pins that he would get from the Red Cross that showed their appreciation for his continued engagement with their programs. And going with him, we would go to the hospital where their donation center was. And I just remember sitting there watching him donate blood for about an hour. And I would watch a movie and I would eat the cookies and drink all the juice that he was supposed to be having to recover from the donation. It was a fun memory, and I hope that anyone who wants to donate this weekend, you're welcome to bring your family. Let them see what a great role you're taking on in the community. We can show them the fire station, show them the fire trucks. We want this to be an exciting event for everyone involved, and we would love to make some multi-generational blood donors out of this as well. And I saw that you put up the QR code that we made earlier. For anyone who missed that, we do have a link on our Facebook page that's available. So anyone who misses that QR code, please visit our Facebook page. There are still plenty of slots available for tomorrow's blood drive.
Well, we're going to put up that QR code again just to give everybody a chance to scan it and to learn a little more information about this event that's coming up right here in West Bloomfield. Blake, what message would you like to share with the community members who are considering donating but haven't committed just yet?
Well, I know that this isn't for everyone. It can be a tough thing to have someone, especially on a holiday weekend. That's why the blood supplies tend to go down. People are busy, but this is important. This is an appeal to come out and secure the good health of your community. Needles are tough, but it's one time. It's a one-time stick. We're not going to poke you over and over. All you have to do is relax and let the Versity folks do their thing. They've offered a $25 gift card. I know the poster that we put out said $15. They've since increased that now. They're offering $25. I'll have bagels personally ready from New York Bagel off Orchard Lake here. For anyone who wants to come in, we'll give you a tour, we'll give you a gift card, and we'll give you breakfast. We would love to see you here. And if you can't donate, as long as you signed up, you're still eligible for all of that stuff. You can still come and say hi to us. You can still get your $25 gift card if you registered, but you're not eligible to donate for some reason, and still come and get that bagel with a schmear.
That's right. Bagels will certainly help bring a lot of people out to this event. Blake, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and for giving us all this information about the blood drive event. I got one more quick question for you before we let you go. Let's say people can't make it to this event that's coming up this weekend. Do you think that there's going to be other blood drives with the fire department that are going to be taking place in the future?
We'd love to make this a regular event, and part of that depends on getting a good turnout tomorrow. If we can show that there's engagement in West Bloomfield, Versity would love to partner with us and make this available in West Bloomfield, maybe twice a year, maybe 4 times a year. It depends on if we can make it worth them bringing all of their equipment to us. If you can't make it for some reason, but you want to get involved, please check out Versity's website. They do have donation centers across the area, and I know they would love for you to come in if you can't make it to the fire department this weekend.
All important information at the ready. Now, I don't want to jinx things just yet, but I have a feeling that this event is going to be a huge success, and I can't wait to see the many more blood drive events that are going to come in the future. Blake, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you getting the word out.
Absolutely. One more reminder to everybody and one more chance to scan that QR code to be taken to the website to learn a little more information about the West Bloomfield Fire Department Community Blood Drive that once again is taking place tomorrow, Saturday, May 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. All great information here in Greater West Bloomfield, and we're just getting started right here on the Splash Live. Lots of other big stories and events to talk about right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Hi, I'm Chris Fry, Park Superintendent, West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations, Civic Center TV, on 1 million views on YouTube. Thank you for all you do in the community, and thank you for having me on The Splash throughout the season to talk about activities out in the parks. Chris Fry, proud to be 1 in a million.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. A local professional is celebrating 5 years of service to the community. On June 5th, Karen Faith, LLC, is inviting the West Bloomfield community to an open house-style anniversary event, providing tours of her practice space, an informal meet and greet, and resource tables. Yesterday, I spoke with the founder and owner of Karen Faith LLC, Karen Faith Gordon, to hear all about it. Karen, thank you so much for joining us here on the Splash Live.
Thank you, Jake. I appreciate you inviting me. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Always love talking to you. And as you celebrate your 5-year anniversary, what are the most meaningful changes you've seen in how West Bloomfield families approach aging and caregiving?
Some of the most positive things that have occurred have been, number one, the growth in my caseload and the ability to support and guide as many people as I can along their aging journey. And through lectures and presentations and word of mouth, it's been really gratifying to see how many people have found my practice and how our business has been able to grow and serve more and more people.
That's right. Your business is helping so many people all throughout Greater West Bloomfield, and there's going to be a lot of things for them to experience at this open house event on June 5th. What do you hope participants will take away from the event, and how can neighbors best engage with you afterwards?
Their takeaway from the event will be to make connection with me and with other practitioners that also are in my space offering their services and expertise, whether it be through counseling or through yoga or through physical therapy. We are a space of wellness and whole holistic well-being, if you will. And so, yes, the cognitive piece, and also, yes, the physical piece. And so the takeaway will be connection. And the way in which we would love to engage further with people is by having them come to the groups that I offer, the classes that we offer, and to ask questions. We're here to answer the questions that you have. There are no wrong questions, and we are always happy to find the answers if we don't have them ourselves.
That is absolutely right. And you're talking about connections. That's such an important word you hear very, very often throughout Greater West Bloomfield. It truly is what binds each and everybody together through what they do. Now, how has expanding telehealth services, how has that influenced access to geriatric mental health care for West Bloomfield's older adults and their caregivers?
Thank you. That's a great question. It has really and truly been an invaluable way for people to access their mental health well-being, because there are many people who are homebound and or who are no longer driving and or who live across the state and wouldn't be able to travel to see me in West Bloomfield. So many of the people that I see are, yes, they are local and they may not have access to transportation. And so telehealth opens up that world to them that they would otherwise not have available. And then throughout the state, all over Michigan, I have clients calling and connecting through telehealth. It's very humbling to be able to be a source of comfort and guidance for so many people.
That's absolutely right. Being a big source of guidance for those older adults, like I mentioned, as well as their caregivers. And caregivers do so much. They take care of many, many things when it comes to the older adults of the community. And in our community, what unique challenges do you find caregivers facing? And how does group support help alleviate those stressors?
Another great question. Thank you for asking, Jake. Yes, caregivers are carrying a heavy load. And what I am seeing more and more often when you ask about the unique challenges is that I'm seeing younger and younger young adults who are moving into their own midlife, who are sandwiched between their raising their own families, managing and navigating their own careers, and now coping with the changing needs of their parents and even sometimes their grandparents, and maybe even simultaneously. And the support groups that I run, what I think the greatest takeaway for people is, again, we come back to that word connection, right? I am so gratified that the one-on-one work I do with clients can help them. And I see tremendous value, and sometimes even more value, in the affirmation that comes through these shared experiences where people learn from each other.
All great things to take away from these experiences. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm speaking with Karen Faith Gordon, the founder and owner of Karen Faith LLC, who is celebrating 5 years of service to the Greater West Bloomfield community and is inviting the West Bloomfield community to an open house style anniversary event that's going to be taking place on June 5th. Now, Karen, you cover a lot of things when it comes to your teachings. One of the big things you talk about is the effects of dementia and cognitive impairment. What are maybe some misconceptions about dementia and cognitive impairment that you encounter locally, and how can the community better support memory care needs?
Well, one of the biggest misconceptions is that every person's journey is going to look a certain way, and that's simply not the case. The dementia manifests itself in myriad ways, and if I saw 10 people in a day all diagnosed with dementia, I would see 10 different manifestations of it and all the nuances that go with that particular individual. And I think that is one of the greatest challenges for people who have been diagnosed and or who are caring for someone who has been diagnosed, is the heightened anxiety around what is going to be their trajectory. And so that is something that is challenging and that I address with individuals and families all the time. And the greatest way that they can support both themselves and their loved one is by educating themselves. And whether it's through reading, I mean, the 36-hour day is a go-to for me and many of my clients. I'm always sharing books and resources with clients to add to their knowledge base, because truly dementia is a snowflake disease. There are no two that look alike. And that is something that that uncertainty can be a very challenging landscape for people to navigate.
You're certainly right. It's something that a lot of people have experienced with some of their family members. I've certainly had family members a long time ago who've suffered from dementia, and it's been heartbreaking to see. But important information like this is crucial so that everybody can help understand it for the future. Now, Karen, which local organizations, healthcare providers, or faith communities have you partnered with to extend your services, and where do you see opportunities for new collaborations in the future?
West Bloomfield Parks and Rec has been a wonderful partner throughout this past year. Through the funding of a grant, we've been able to provide monthly lectures at West Bloomfield Connect, and I have been able to host groups at my space at Karen Faith LLC that have been truly well attended and well appreciated. The feedback has been incredibly positive. Jewish Family Service has an incredible wealth of resources that I refer to all the time for people who are seeking cognitive ways to stimulate, engage, and sustain their cognitive reserves. So that's another resource that I really, it's a go-to for me. And many of the local senior centers are very, very integral to my work, because I'm one person, and my practice, I'm here to support as much as I can, and there is nothing better than being able to refer and encourage and recommend people to other sources that I know are of integrity.
Well, Karen, you have been doing a lot of great work for everybody all throughout Greater West Bloomfield. I got a couple more questions for you before we wrap things up. As you've been here for 5 years so far, as you look towards the next 5 years and even beyond that, what developments or programs are you most excited to bring to West Bloomfield to further enhancing ease and grace in aging?
I'm most excited, actually, Jake, about the opportunities to be out in the public, if you will, helping to educate and inform people. It is so it gives me so much pleasure to be in spaces where I can offer information and invite questions and see what happens in the room when the energy shifts from fear to empowerment. And I really would like to see the growth of the practice, yes, to continue the mental health aspect, and yes, to continue to offer physical well-being through yoga or physical therapy or other classes that we can offer. I myself am very energized by being out in spaces where people are interested in learning more about the various joys and challenges of aging, and really engaging with me and with each other around their own stories. Everyone has a story. And when I'm in front of an audience, I love to share mine and then invite others to share theirs, and then watch as connection happens in the room.
You're certainly right. Every single person has a story, and we thank you for stopping by today and telling yours. One more quick question before we wrap things up. Where can people go to gain a little more information about your open house that's taking place on June 5th?
They can go to the website, karenfaith.llc. They're welcome to call the office, and we're going to be putting things on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and just spreading the word of mouth around the community. Yeah.
Well, can't wait to see what's to come from this great event, and can't wait to see what's to come with Karen Faith LLC for the next 5 years and beyond. Karen, thank you so much for joining us here on The Splash Live.
Thank you so much, Jake. It's truly a pleasure. Thank you.
As a reminder, the open house for Care and Faith LLC is going to be taking place on June 5th. A great way to help Care and Faith reach the next 5 years and beyond, as we thank her once again for her time in talking with us here on The Splash Live. Memorial Day is almost here, which means it's almost time for the Sylvan Lake Memorial Day Parade, one of the longest and most beloved traditions all across the community. I recently spoke with parade chairperson Margarita Garcia to hear all about this year's plans and what she's looking forward to the most. Really excited to be hearing what's in store for the Memorial Day Parade this year. I know everyone in the community looks forward to it. What are the key elements that go into planning this parade every year?
Well, most of all, it's communication. I mean, it begins with calling the volunteers, communicating with the city, coordination, preparation, and of course, at the end, it's the execution itself of the parade.
That's absolutely right. Lots of communication is key, and we see that unfold every single year with this parade. And how long has this parade been going on? How many years?
You know, I've asked that question a couple of times, Jake, and the answer is we think about 75 years, but nobody knows for sure. So a long time.
Certainly has been a long time, which just goes to show how much that this parade has stood the test of time and has become such a mainstay for this community. Margarita, what can attendees and participants expect to be different or possibly new in this year's parade?
Well, our parade is about traditions. So every year we have a lot of the same participants regarding like the city float, our garden club, parks and recreation, the kids on bikes, historical characters, and of course all of our drivers in vintage cars or pulling boats. That is a mainstay every year. This year, however, we do have 2 new participants. Sylvan Table, the beautiful restaurant right in our neighborhood, is joining us, and we can't wait to see what they do. Their first time. And also we have the Oakland County Sheriff's Department Mounted Police. We're looking at 2 riders, so 2 officers. We're really excited about that. They'll be walking with or riding, trotting right behind our police car, patrol car, which should be really cool for the kids to see.
Absolutely. Those sound like great additions to the parade lineup for this Memorial Day weekend. And working with all of these local officials and volunteers and participants, how do you coordinate things with all those people to ensure that everything runs smoothly on parade day?
Well, this parade, thank goodness, has a history. So we have, our notes from the past. The first thing that happens at the, late March is that I meet with the city along with Kathy Robbins, who is the coordinator for the veterans, and Denise Dryden, John Martin at the city. And we sit down and just, start the planning. Also, Police Chief Corey is in the meeting because his department is involved in, the street closings and so forth and monitoring that everybody stays safe. So that starts it. And then I start making good old phone calls, texts, emails to the past participants, and then hopefully get on the phone and try to or visit or whatever local businesses and so forth. This year, Chief Corey helped to get the mounted police for us. So I thought that was pretty cool of him.
Absolutely. All great things to be looking forward to with this year's parade. And you just touched on this a little bit, Margarita, but how you talk about a lot of participants that have been involved for many, many years, but you've also talked about how we're having a couple new participants this year. How can new participants get involved with the parade for future years?
I forgot one other addition before I answer your question, Jake. Of course. Ben Mearswell, who is a local young man that grew up in Sylvan Lake, born and raised and bred. he has his own business, and he is bringing his tractor this year as well. So just wanted to say thank you to Ben for that. So we're excited. And how can people get involved? They can just reach out. We're a small community. We have a Facebook page, Sylvan What's Going On. My email is sylvanlakeparade@gmail. Pretty easy. A lot of people know my phone number, or if they don't, you can call City Hall and get it, or send City Hall an email and just, send them a request, and then they'll forward that to me. Or if you see me outside and say, hey, Margarita, I'm thinking about next year, great. I mean, it's such a small community. You can pretty much open the window and shout out, to your neighbor. So it's pretty easy to get a hold of me here.
You're right. It is a small community, but I think it's because of that's what makes parades like this so special for everybody. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we're talking with the Sylvan Lake Memorial Day Parade chairperson, Margarita Garcia, who's giving us a little sneak peek of what we can expect with the Memorial Day Parade this year coming up in just a couple short weeks. Now, of course, talking about all of these great programs and these great participants involved with the parade, let's not forget the holiday's origins. This is Memorial Day. So how do you honor veterans and active service members during the parade? And how do you ensure that the true meaning and spirit of Memorial Day is honored throughout the event?
Well, the Memorial Day Parade is named Memorial Day Parade because that's it. We're honoring our fallen heroes, our veterans, and there's a really active veteran community here in Sylvan Lake, as well as Memorial Park, which is dedicated to our veterans. So we see it every day, and we honor them and remember them every day. They're such a part of our community. So given that, the way in the parade itself, we have the American Legion Post 341 that joins us each year. And these guys, some of them are from World War II and the Korean War and so forth. So they proudly join us and are acknowledged at the memorial service, which is really a beautiful thing to see. The parade ends at Memorial Park, and that's a time that we begin our ceremonies for the veterans and the fallen heroes. It's a really beautiful thing to see. It's very respectful, very solemn, and it's really a lovely production by Kathy Robbins and John Martin, who is our musical director as well as our city manager. And he performs beautifully. I'm not sure what he's doing this year, but it's always amazing, and it always brings a little tear to the eye.
I'd imagine so. I remember the festivities from last year. They were incredibly moving. Can't wait to see what he has in store for this year. And of course, as we've talked about, parades like this, a big reason that this has become so successful is, as you said, because of the community's support.
Yes.
So what role specifically does the community play in supporting the parade, either through volunteering, sponsoring, or participating?
All of the above. We have volunteers that raise their hand every year. They help with parking lot coordination. They help with the kids getting their bicycles decorated, face painting, the leader of the parade to keep everybody on track. All of these are veteran volunteers, I want to say, that help us every year. And also the community really shows up. It's the beauty about this parade is that it's through our streets, our residential streets. So you can step out your door and, go up to your lawn, and a lot of people put their lawn chairs out. The kids are outside and watch the parade go by, or take a short walk up to Garland Street and watch the parade at its end, and then join in for the memorial ceremony. We had quite a turnout last year. It was really attended by a lot, and it's the kickoff for the summer here. And aside being a day for the veterans, it's the summer kickoff, and you see your neighbors you haven't seen all winter. Everybody's happy and smiling and greeting each other. It's really very cool community.
That's absolutely right. Spreading that positivity and spreading smiles everywhere you go. Margarita, I know you got a lot of busy work to do to make sure that everything runs smoothly for this year's parade, but I got one more question for you before I let you go, and I think this one might be the biggest of all. What are you most looking forward to with this year's parade?
Well, I have to tell you, my favorite part of the parade itself is watching it come together. We start lining up the participants and the floats and the music and the bagpiper in front of City Hall and Greater Harvest Church. About a half hour before the parade starts. I have to tell you, standing back and watching it all come together it's a festival atmosphere. Kevin and Maria Mearswell handle the parking lot situation, and they line up all of the cars and so forth according to their place in the parade, which is a great part of the parade. So everybody's pulling in, and the kids are getting their faces painted, and they're decorating their bicycles. The big fire truck, West Bloomfield fire truck, shows up. The patrol car. This year we'll have the horses there, the mounted police, and it's just a festival in itself. It's the favorite part for me of the parade. Not mention the memorial ceremony, but it always makes me so happy. It's just it really, you guys should film it. It's really fun.
Well, we will certainly be there to capture all of the magic. I can't wait to see it all up close. I know you can't wait either. Margarita, thank you so much for joining us today here in the Splash Live to tell us all about the parade.
It was my pleasure, Jake, and we'll see you at the parade.
The Memorial Day Parade for Sylvan Lake is coming very, very soon, and we thank Margarita for taking the time to talk with us to hear all about this year's plans and what's to come going forward. Every day, West Bloomfield Township is working to make the community better than it was the day before, and that's all through the help of their master plan. And just recently, West Bloomfield residents had the chance to learn about the master plan, to voice their questions and some of their concerns, and to have a healthy dialogue with some of the officials to help finalize things for West Bloomfield's future. And I was there to capture everything.
What made you decide to want to come out here tonight to this master plan open house for West Bloomfield?
Well, I did the online survey when it came out, so then I was interested to seeing what came of the online survey and all of the nice demonstration of what they have in mind proposing for the township. So I thought I'd come here in person, talk to some of the powers that be, give my opinion.
Well, our HOA president sent us the information, and I thought, oh, I should go and see what the township plans on doing or wants to do. So that's why I came out tonight.
What have you seen tonight from the community as they've come out to the master plan open house?
So we've had a lot of great ideas regarding future land uses along Orchard Lake Road as well as Haggerty Road. A lot of desire to maintain the walkability and the pedestrian feel of those commercial corridors. So looking at additional parks and sidewalks and possibly alleyways behind some of the shopping centers to create more of a pedestrian-friendly, walkable community. We've also seen a lot of comments about keeping and protecting the woodlands and wetlands and the natural beauty of the township.
I've learned that people are very concerned with the impact of more building with the current state of our roads. The infrastructure will not accommodate a lot more building in this area. And it's very dangerous, and if more development comes out, it's going to be even worse.
How important is the community's input in everything that you guys do?
It's extremely important. We need to hear from the citizens to draft this master plan because it's their plan for the next 30 years, and it will create a roadmap as to how the township changes and grows and things that they're interested in seeing.
Things aren't done in a vacuum, and this helps anyone that's interested to see what's going on. You need residents' input in order to do things correctly, I think. I think if you go off and just do it based on what you think it should be, I think things start to fall apart at that point. So I think getting our input is very good.
We need to hear from the residents and as to what they want so we can make sure we're doing our job and to helping the community grow in the way they want the community to grow.
Everyone's voice is important in helping to make this community what it is. But that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests and for everyone on the Splash Live team for helping to make this fantastic show what it is every single day. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.